In an insane world, it was the sanest choice.
Welcome to Market Makers, everybody. Your home for tomorrow's TA today. Often imitated, never replicated. I hope everybody had a fantastic 3-day weekend. I have a big announcement. Lee is back.
No. Wait.
Guys, the title of this video is Sell the Summer. But before you can sell the summer, we need our fractal retracement pattern to trigger, and it is tracking beautifully from a timing perspective. So I'm going to give you a key update on that video or on that pattern. Remember, this is a catalyst-driven market. We had the CPI come in hot, but not hotter than hot, help prop the market up. NVIDIA earnings came in hot. That helped prop the market up. The next major catalyst is this Friday, the PCE, the next big inflation read. Does it come in hot, but not hotter than hot and help hold the market up? Or does it come in hotter than hot and the market, that's the easy trigger, guys, to continue to the downside or start the drawdown for the next wave to the downside, because we are in extended rallies at a key turning point, tracking to a previous fractal from a timing perspective quite beautifully. I'm going to show you that in the charts. Guys, if you like this channel, if you want to check out our TA, our trade setups, check out our Discord. That information is in the video description. You can go to our old website, marketmakers.trade, and sign up. And of course, if you like the fractal patterns that I share, the advanced Fibonacci techniques here on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe.
Now, let all those who love me follow me!
All right, Lee, without further ado, let's kick off the show. All right, guys, before we kick off the show, I wanted to share with you, we brought on a new exchange that people can try out. It is Bitunix. This is an exchange with no VPN requirements, no KYC, which is the two most requested things from members on our Discord and from our audience members as well. Every exchange seems to go through a KYC process at some point. We have SimpleFX, a fantastic exchange, which most countries in the world can use. Very simple KYC process. Upload a photo ID, trade equities, trade commodities, trade some cryptos on SimpleFX. Bitunix is a crypto exchange with none of those requirements, anonymous trading. A special market makers bonus is available. I'll go ahead and pin that in the comment section if you want to try it out. Give it a try. So far, we've got some good feedback from members in the room, and they really enjoy it. Let's go ahead and jump into the charts. What's the 10-year doing? It is up above 4.5%. Rebounding right off the trend line, right? So the key area you have to really break is 4.73, 4.75. But again, this is pressure on the markets because overall, we're in extended rallies in the markets. We're looking to see if the dollar can hold. The dollar's still flat, relatively weak. It's going to be interesting because we have the ECB has basically been telegraphing they're going to be doing rate cuts, which should weaken the euro as soon as June, unless they backtrack because your inflation readings come in hot. Let's check out the fractal, right? Why could this be a sell the summer event? Brendan, how is this fractal still the same? Well, let's look at it from a timing perspective. Let's look at it from a Fibonacci perspective. If we look at this from a harmonic expansion perspective, showed you this many times, 1618, 5334, got up to 5366, beautiful hit, and you're hung up here, right? What about our timing? How is this fractal so far, like the July 2023 high down to the October low? Well, a couple of ways. Let's look at this. If we go up from this first peak here, that over to the second peak, 12 bars, 51 days. Now we go to our first peak, over to our second peak, 14 bar, oops, missed it. 13 bars, 56 days. 13 being a key Fibonacci number, 3-day chart, and then 55 being a key Fibonacci sequence number as well. Again, looking for a turn. So yes, did the rally go higher? It took out the high. Didn't do that in the previous fractal. Remember, these are not one-to-one relationships, but so far within a single bar, the pattern is the same. You're throwing dojis here on the 3-day. Nvidia is propping up the market, but I think you're looking for the wave down. I've been asked, does this have to retrace in a 5-wave fractal? Absolutely not. This could easily just be a 3-wave retracement where you come down, you're up, and you come back down, okay? An M. This could be an M pattern retracement, but those targets that I have remain the same. I'm looking at the December 2023 high for this to break down to, and that's that 4820 level, okay? And if it comes down beneath that, the 4700 was my key target. So let's go ahead and look at this on a daily chart. What else do we have on the daily? Something key happened last week, guys. We had what you're hearing a lot of people call a bearish engulfing bar, right? Here on the ES, here on the S&P on the daily. You see this? If you look at this bar, and people are showing other examples somewhere along the way, right? There's a couple of them. But from a fractal perspective, this is more important because this is a rare bar. What do I mean by that? Do you see this is a bearish engulfing bar where it's the high fractal and it's the low fractal. On both sides, it's lower highs and higher lows. Okay, it's a clean sweep fractal. To find this bar on the S&P, there's only been 2 in the last year. That's how rare this bar is. Let me show you one of them. One of them is here in December, where you have the high and the low in the same candle for the fractal, but this was not a bearish engulfing bar to the strict definition because you did not open up above the previous high, okay? But what did the market do? It rallied for 5 days. It then sold off 3%. Well, where's the key one that I really want to focus on is the July. Of course, it happened here, right? The July 2023 high. This was your fractal. This was your high. This was your low. This was your bearish engulfing bar. And what happened after that? The biggest down move in the making here for the retracement, right? So if you look at this, this was a big drop after you did a clean sweep fractal, a 6% drop. So we rallied for 1, 2, 3 days. We rallied for 3 days and sold off. And when did the selling pick up? Obviously, when you knock out the base of the fractal, right? Take out the fractal, selling picked up. This is a big move. So let's go ahead and look at this again here on the daily and the current time frame. Moving this forward. So we have this clean sweep fractal. This can be a fractal reversal. And the way that I'm looking at this pattern, guys, there's a couple of things that I think is really interesting before we break this bar down. Let's throw the 50 on here. The 50 is my close target that I'm looking at, which is basically 52.15 right now, okay? That's the close target. I do, however, think we're going to get a deeper retracement, but that would be my closer level target. Why do I say we're at least going to the 50? Is it a guess? Again, looking at market symmetry. What did the Dow do? Look at the Dow. The Dow not only fell to the 50, as of today, it took out the 50. Remember, the Dow is representative, is a small baby brother of the S&P. All the sectors are represented in the Dow, but the Dow doesn't have Nvidia. It doesn't have that one stock, which is 5% of the S&P, holding it up. So it is selling off. I don't think you're going to be in a situation where the Dow loses the 50 and the S&P and the NASDAQ just stay at their all-time highs, because you're down 158 points today, about just almost 0.5% today. And this looks like, to me, it's coming back down to test the top of the W structure around 38,750. Okay, if this selling continues. So again, canary in the coal mine is what I'm looking at here. So when we look at this actual candle, the actual setup here, we know we had that key level of resistance. I want to put this in a trading range here. 53.68 is your all-time high, and then here's your low. And then if I'm looking at this from a Fibonacci perspective, of course, we got up to the 618, just above 53.32. Again, just like all of my double top type trades, I like that area above the 618. My ideal entry is 53.48 at the 786 if this was so inclined to get there. And in this case, because of what this type of pattern is, I want to have a tight stop loss on this trade just above the all-time high. Why? Because if we take this out and start marching upwards, we could be going higher, right? And that could happen with the PCE. But again, that's a personal preference thing everybody can do for themselves. I'm just sharing with you my thoughts, my ideas on the marketplace. But my stop loss would definitely be above the all-time high. And I'm looking for this turn. We have 2 days of rally. Remember, back in July 2023, we rallied for 3 days and then got the turn. Key moves happen in 3s and 5s. In December 2023, clean sweep fractal, we rallied for 5 days. So watching these levels, keen on these levels here, it's something to pay attention to. If we do come down further to our targets, it is a nice reward, guys. If we come down and retrace further, even to the 50, it is over 120, 110 points from the current price level. Nice little trade. Then you can reassess the situation, see what happens. And if it breaks down deeper, like I think it will, bringing us back down to our December highs, well, then you're looking at that 48.21 level, and you're looking at hundreds of S&P points before we go on to do what? Before we go on to base and rocket ship back up, which is my base case, barring a black swan. Those two targets, 5781, 6036. So basically, you're 5800 to 6K on the S&P after you stretch the rubber band back, right? You're extended. Got to stretch that rubber band back. You're at 5325 right now, time of this recording. Let's go ahead and look at the Dow again really quickly because I know some people like it. You're at 38,995. Let's go ahead and pull this and see where we're going to here on our fibs. The 618 fib, again, 38,763. That's where I think you're going to end up coming down to and resting in this area, and you're below the 50. Again, canary in the coal mine. Let's look at the NASDAQ. What about the NASDAQ? Did we hit any type of key harmonic symmetry? We're on the NQ. It's at 18,917 right now. Well, yeah, we did. Let's go ahead and go back to August 2022, pull it down to our market low. If we look at this, we need to add our 2618 on here. Find that. Boom. Harmonic expansion. 19,009. Look at that beautiful hit. We got up to 19,023, 19,009. How did the 1618 act as well? The 1618 was the trigger for the July high, October low, the 11 or 12% drop in the NASDAQ. And now we're up at the 2618. So again, expansion is exactly what you want to see. This market is being literally, quite literally held up by NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA up another 5% so far today. Fractal retracement playing out the exact same way, guys, so far. So we're going to look at this on the daily time frame. And keep in mind, when we're talking about these retracements, my bias, and again, my bias could be wrong. We could have a black swan. We could have a bank failure. Something could happen here in the next couple of months. But my bias is pull back the rubber band. December highs is the target I'm really looking at. 16,786, 17K right at the December highs. Pull back the rubber band and then bounce back up, looking at 21,000 on the NASDAQ and slightly higher, 21.5. But 21,000 gives us harmonic expansion of a 100%, a natural doubling in the marketplace. But we need this turn. We need to refuel the race car, stretch the rubber band, and be able to come down to rocket ship up. So again, when we're doing the same method here, guys, look at, you had the clean sweep fractal here as well on the daily time frame. So the key components here, when you see these clean sweep fractals, you want to keep the high intact, 19,023, right? Again, a rare bar, right? This is a rare bar that you have. And actually, you didn't even get a clean sweep fractal back at the July high. You only had the other one in December here on the NASDAQ. Remember, it's not an exact one-to-one with the S&P. The S&P is the much larger multi-trillion-dollar market, which is why we track the S&P as our base case. But this is what you want to do. You want to keep your high intact. And again, I'm looking for that turn. And where's my target going to be just from a fractal perspective? Boom, right there. We already hit it, by the way, right? I mean, understand, we hit the December high in the NASDAQ. We didn't hit it in the S&P. We hit it in the Dow. We hit it in the NASDAQ, not the S&P. This is just merely coming back down to the previous level that we retraced from, right? Refuel the race car. So we'll see if this happens. I think we're going to get this turn once the NVIDIA furor, the NVIDIA euphoria starts to die down. We'll start to see this roll over. I want to see this stay beneath 19,023, and I want to see this start to break down to the downside. And of course, if we're going to look at this from a Fibonacci perspective, daily time frame, you got up just above the 786 at 19 or 18,937, right? So you have a little bit more euphoria in this marketplace from a Fibonacci perspective than the S&P, but this is key resistance area right between here and your all-time high at 19,023, and then I'll be looking for this move, the rollover back to the downside. What's the indicators doing? On a daily time frame, you're still pushing up, still bullish. Momentum's kind of crap, but it's starting to die off a little bit. Let's look at the euro dollar real quick. I know people like the euro dollar, always asking me about it. We got guys on the Discord like to trade it. Euro dollar, guys, you're hung up at 1.087, right? I'm on the Oanda chart, I believe, for the euro dollar. I am. And you can see I have some key resistance there at 1.089. But the much bigger resistance, and again, this is going sideways, right? And these are trades in here, obviously. Choppy, these are trades. What's the easier trade? Getting in when you think a trend is establishing, right? That's the easier trade. This is choppy. I want to see what the ECB does. Are they really going to cut rates? We're almost in June. They've been telegraphing they're going to cut rates. If they cut rates, that should weaken the euro, okay? Strengthen the dollar by proxy, right? But weaken the euro, especially obviously if the Fed doesn't cut rates and we get a hot PCE, you're going to see this reflected in the charts. So you're at key resistance right now on an upward rise, but you've just been going sideways, chop, chop, chop. Real strong resistance is up here at 1.10. And obviously, and if you start breaking down below this level of 1.04, it's a nice drop back down to the downside. So you're kind of just stuck in this range right now. And there's trades in here, guys. This is a 3-day chart. You can go in the daily and go in the 8-hour and look at it. But for me right now, I'm more dependent on the catalyst in the marketplace. I want to see what the ECB does because that's going to give us a trend direction of which way this is going to go. Is the euro going to strengthen or is it going to weaken, right? So I'll give you guys updates on that when I see something that I like. So look at Bitcoin. Will we still get our 3 peaks? Peak 1, peak 2, peak 3, and a domed house for our market ending pattern, taking us to our target of 109, 110K Bitcoin. Been over this pattern many times. And yes, we still could. I still want the retracement. Again, stretch the rubber band back down. We got down to 56.5. As you guys know, I've been tracking 52. And then that 45, 46 cluster of candles down here. I feel like we need the rubber band to be pulled back and shot up. Let's look at this on a 3-day chart that's clean. You can see we nailed our projection of 73,765. But guys, when I look at this pattern, right, and understanding what's happening right now in the S&P, what's happening in the NASDAQ, what's happening in global equities, including crypto, especially Bitcoin, they're all printing a massive 3-wave double top. Okay. So if this breaks and comes down, again, we're looking at those levels. I want this to break and come down, base, and then shoot back up because that's how I'd like to see this play out. Extended rally, powerful rally. Let's look at the daily time frame. The volume looks like garbage. Let's look at the MFI. It's bullish. Momentum is garbage. So again, looking at this from a fractal perspective, where's your key trades coming in at? Key trades have been here, midpoint where I traded it before. Here's another short. Here's another short. What level is that? 71,850. 71,850 has produced some great drops, whether they're 10% drops or 20+% drops. What was this drop right here? Actually, it went above 71,850 here, but yeah, 23, 24%. So it's produced some great drops here. And then again, we got another drop here. And now you're just floating. And then, of course, you have this 3-wave pattern that's printed as well. So you want to watch this. You have low volume. You have low participation. You have low momentum. You're grinding. Remember, for me, this is just neutral. Right? This was a neutral territory. Want to see a pattern print. Could be printing one right now. I like this level up here to hold for resistance, 71,850. Obviously, your all-time high, 73,843. Printing some type of bearish pattern, such as a W or something that comes into this area, right? Something like this. Come up, come in here, comes into this area, and that's our target, our kill box. Be looking for a reversal back to the downside. Does it have to? No. If the markets start rolling down, I think this double top here is going to break there at that neckline and then start coming back down as well, because crypto is going to move with all the liquidity in the marketplace. And if the liquidity, the money in the market's running scared and selling, people are certainly going to sell some Bitcoin as well. But it's pretty flat right now. Pretty flat. Let's look at Solana. Solana again, look at the same pattern, guys. These are all the same patterns over and over, and keep drawing them, or you can just use your imagination like Walt Disney, right? So you have your A, your B, 3-wave pattern so far. Big double top pattern. Where is it finding resistance? The same place we've been trading it and catching these massive trades. But when you look at this, that level, the 189, right at the 786, we've been talking about it forever. I told you I liked that level for a trade. We traded it up here at 205, got the nice 45% drop, and now we pump back up. But this is a key level resistance, 189. You're at 167 right now beneath the 618. And again, if this comes back up, I'm going to look at this 786 level and just above it. And what are the equities doing? Are they topping? Did PCE come in cool and everything's rallying? Everything's rallying. Then you may be looking at potentials to take longs, right? It just depends what happens in this catalyst-driven market. Can't predict the future. Don't know what the number is going to be. But what we do know is the key levels for inflection, the key levels for retracement, and the key levels for resistance. Okay, so watch 173 is your current resistance. 189 is your key resistance. And then obviously 210 would be that local high you would want to take out. But between 189 and 210 gives you these beautiful trades that we got before on Solana. So look at Ethereum. Ethereum's holding up better. Didn't quite get to our 786 target of 4,013. What did we get to here? Let's go ahead and check this fractal corridor here. We got up to the 200% expansion of 39.11, just above it, throwing some wicks there. So that's a resistance level right now. You're at 38.45. 786 at 4,013 remains a key level. I'd wait and see what we're doing here, right? What are we doing here? Are we just bouncing around in here? We're going to build some type of pattern, give us some type of trade entry. As of right now in the daily time frame, this is a wait and see for me. Bullish on the MFI. Volume momentum's not too bad. Like I said, it's doing better in Solana, but overall, massive 3-wave double top. Not drawing at this time. Use your imagination. Let's check out international markets. DAX. The DAX, like all the European markets, was front running, I guess, the future rate cuts. You had your beautiful W, just like, remember, this led the US markets, right? This was the canary for the US markets, but what's it been doing? It's been topping, and now you have your beautiful M, right? Your M pattern. Your W reverts to an M when it becomes a potential topping pattern here as well. So your key levels here have stayed the same, 18,922, which you almost hit today. Your key support levels, the 1618 at 18,641. You're throwing this pattern in here. There's definitely trades in here. People wish to take trades in that upper echelon, the upper range of this asset. But right now it's kind of in the middle between the two ranges, like the trade at extremes. And again, not in a rush on this. Let's see what the catalysts bring in the marketplace. Let's see if the US markets finally start rolling over, or if they're going to jet upwards because of NVIDIA and because of a cool PCE on Friday. Remember, this is a short trading week, but these are the key levels to watch on the DAX, 18,739 current price. Let's check out, what are we looking at here? Oh, the FTSE. The FTSE is starting to have a nice sell-off. Let's go ahead and get some Fibonacci's on here. Right up to our 2618, we look at our 1618, beautiful hits here, caused this retracement at 80.40, and now we got just above the 2618 at 84.38. Current price is 82.72. This is your wave up, a wave down. You need your third wave, guys. Get that third wave up, see where it goes. Key resistance, 84.38. If the markets globally start to behave poorly, whether it's because rate cuts were actually bad in the ECB in the Eurozone, or maybe they can't cut rates. They haven't done it yet. And then everything starts retracing. Or if the US markets start rolling over, but you have your wave 1, wave 2, get your wave 3 bounce back up, pull a fib down, look at your resistance, 618, 786, and that range, and see where that goes. And keep in mind the larger resistance, 84.38. That's what I would do, and that's all that I can say. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you on the Discord. Check out our website to join the Discord, and I'll see everybody on the next update. Thank you for joining me today. Take care, everybody.